am honestly bored of nutritionists or personal trainers basically being like, nutrition is easy. All we need is like good discipline and stuff like that. And I used to be one of these coaches, to be completely honest, because I think whilst the nutrition principles are simple, the practice isn't, okay? Real life isn't built around this stress-free, like lack of chaos bubble, real life has got, broken sleep, it's got babies, toddlers, aging parents, stressful work, hormones, pregnancy, postpartum, menopause, mental loads that you just carry day to day. I think I said work, like high stress like life. And sometimes we're also in bodies that don't feel like what we're used to, that we don't feel comfortable within. And in these moments, I do think that like good nutrition is a lot harder, and it's easier said than done, being like, oh well, you should eat this instead of that. And I do think because when you're tired, when you're overstimulated, when you're emotionally drained, the pull towards comfort is real. Like, food is not just, yes, it is obviously nourishing, obviously it's for our health, all this kind of stuff, but food is joy as well. Food is comfort. When you're in these seasons of life that feel so difficult, maybe so overwhelming, having something that you really enjoy eating, that brings you back to a time in your life that was peaceful, that is calm, it can do so much for you. And I totally understand how, some people do feel that pull towards that food more often than not. And I don't think that's down to like lack of discipline. I think that's also just like, I always think of ice cream, right? Ice cream for me is my absolute joy. And going to get an ice cream like in a cone, like by the lake, by the sea, it just reminds me of really, really good, really happy times. And that's why I feel like sometimes when I'm craving this ice cream, is that I'm craving that moment, that peace, that stress-free environment. So yeah, I didn't really have a point of this, except that I kind of understand that nutrition can be a very stressful thing because people know what they should eat. Like for me, this pregnancy, I've known exactly how I should eat. I know what I need to do to support my health, to support my fetus, to support everything. But it hasn't always been that easy because I've struggled so much this pregnancy, the mental side of things, having a toddler, working full time, making those good nutrition choices hasn't always actually been easy. And I think, as I said, it's that crave towards those little moments of joy, that chocolate cookie, that everything, there's just little things that like, for that moment, I know what they say, they're like, ooh, is it worth it for that one moment in time where you feel at peace? And I'm like, yeah, it is. For me, it brings me so much peace and it brings me so much comfort. And that's where I think like, for your nutrition, you need to find a way of eating that's going to work for you. And I think you need to work, if you're struggling, you need to work with someone that's going to help you navigate these different seasons of life with compassion, not be like you just need more discipline, not just because, you have to try harder. Because that's not real life, okay? Real life is messy, real life is chaotic, real life is up and down. And it's not about having perfect nutrition. It's just about, going through the different seasons, accepting different seasons and doing the best we can. I know for me now, I've been off work, and so I've been putting so much more effort into my cooking, making foods that I really want to eat, but that are also more nutritious. And that's easier for me to say now because I have more time to do it. When I was working 100% with the toddlers kind of stuff, yeah, you are going for easier options sometimes because you're tired and you're sleep deprived and your body just needs instant food or instant energy, instant calories, and that's just life. So my point is basically like, if you are struggling with your nutrition, you're not failing. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not anything. Maybe you do need more support. Maybe you do need more help. That's nothing wrong. But I don't want you to feel like because you maybe chose a food or having a glass of wine during the week when you said you wouldn't drink during the week and stuff like that, is that you have failed. It's that what were you needing from that moment? Was it comfort? Was it joy? Was it that moment, as I said, of bringing you back to a peaceful situation? And then after, like, you can reflect on it and be like, okay, are there other things that bring me that same joy? What can I do instead? There's a lot of things that you could do. But yeah, my point being is, like, yes, nutrition principles are simple, but no, the practicality of it is not that simple.